Well, hello to our Ask the Travel Advisor members and welcome to our unique interview and discussion today. I'm Mark Meader, Senior Vice President of Industry Affairs and Education at ASTA, and with me today is Jessica Patel, the Chief Commercial Officer at Airside, a network that handles customer information and identity. Welcome, Jessica. Happy to have you here today. I'm going to jump right in and ask a few questions so we can get to the kind of the crux of what we're hoping to learn a bit more about today and of value to our members. I understand that the U.S. government has been working with an interagency task force to deliver a solution that would help travelers that are coming into the United States report information digitally that the U.S. government will require before they land in the United States, and this is all related to COVID-19. If that's correct, and I think it is, tell me a little bit more about what this task force work is and what its intent is, and what problem are they trying to solve?
Sure, yeah, so you're spot on. There's an interagency task force that has been assembled in coordination primarily with CBP and CDC and the airlines represented by Airlines for America. And the group was basically formed to help the airlines comply with a IFR that was put out by the CDC back in February. So IFR, for those of you who may not know, is an interim final rule. And it was, and it's basically in response to the COVID-19 health crisis. The idea is that it for airlines to help to collect contact information from any individual that's going to be landing in the United States and pass that information forward so that the government can reach out to those passengers in case there's any risk that they were exposed to COVID during this.
Okay, great. So as you said, then A4A, Airlines for America, the trade association for the airline community here in the United States, has in effect partnered with Airside, your company, to deliver a solution by September 1. That's correct? And that's the target date set by the government, I believe.
Right.
Correct.
So yeah, we want to be able to provide a solution for September 1st, and the reason that A4A reached out to Airside to help partner to create the solution is, the initial thought was that the airlines would have to incorporate some of these components into their own systems, and that would have been a very lengthy, potentially expensive process. And so we've partnered by providing a mobile-friendly solution that would help both the passengers and the airlines.
So what is the specific solution then that's being considered? Is it all going to be done on an app on my iPhone or something more than that?
Exactly. So it's going to be a mobile app. It's actually our company's mobile app called Airside. And Airside will be coming out basically the week before the solution launches. It's a broader digital identity app that allows users to, on a consent-driven basis, share their personal information where necessary. So even beyond travel, it could be opening a bank account from your couch or, proving to the liquor store, all kinds of things. But this is a specific use case, for travel for this government, need. And it's going to be available on iOS and Android. For those passengers who don't have a smartphone that is a, recent enough model to be able to use our app, we are going to be providing a web option as well.
Right. So those that need to complete the info or provide the information through the app would do so before departure from, say, Europe or Asia, Latin America, South America, or is it market specific? My understanding is any market flights entering into the United States from any other global destination. Is that right?
That's exactly right. So it's passengers coming back into the United States from any foreign destination. This does include both U.S. citizens as well as foreign nationals.
Okay.
And they would fill in the information prior to departure.
Right. So it's for Americans as much as anyone else if you're coming into the United States, returning from a business trip or a leisure trip. Okay. And again, it goes into effect on the 1st of September.
Exactly right.
Right. And so is the program meant to be temporary? As you mentioned, it's in light of what's happening with as a result of the pandemic, COVID-19. Is it going to apply only for a temporary period, or is it something that's meant to be longer term?
So our current understanding is that it is meant to be temporary as a response to the IFR put out by the CDC. However, there isn't a stated conclusion date as of now for this program.
Okay, so it's indefinite, but probably for the duration, at least during the course of the concern with the pandemic. And
Right.
tell me, what are the pieces of information that will be collected, and when and how will that collection work? It will be done through an app. What are some of the questions that will be asked?
So in the app, the individuals are going to be scanning their passports. There's a passport scanner right in the app, so it's a very easy capture. And so they would have that component. They would be required to provide certain contact information, which allows the government to reach out. So that's going to include their full name, their address in the United States. So if they're residents, their residence, and if they're visiting, it could be a hotel address or so on. Their email address, and at least one primary phone number. They have the option to also provide a secondary phone number and their nationality. And then they'll also have to provide certain travel information. So in the travel category, they would be inputting which air carrier they came in on, their flight number, the destination, so they're, exactly which airport, and the date of their arrival as well.
Okay. Does it take the place of anything that travelers coming into the United States already have to do or complete? It's not a replacement, obviously, to immigration control or global entry or that sort of thing. But is there anything is this one more step that's needed, or is it replacing something or expanding on something that already exists?
So I think it's not replacing any of the existing immigration procedures. You would still use a mobile passport or a global entry or something to do your landing. But what it would do is, at the start of this crisis, there were, kind of forms collecting some of this information that had been used, and so there won't be any of that anymore. This will take the place of any of those requirements.
Okay. And give us a sense, if you can, of what the government's goal is in collecting the data. Is it one of many steps in anticipation of more that could come as a result, in this case, of the virus, like temperature checks or virus testing or that sort of thing? Or the government must have a particular goal. What is the problem it's trying to solve?
Yeah, so the reason that they decided to do this is because they wanted to make sure that the government agencies, most likely either CBP or CDC, would be able to notify any travelers who may have been exposed to COVID-19 during the course of their travel. In terms of those additional measures, to the best of our knowledge, CBP has not announced, any additional nationwide measures that are going to be a component of this landing. But we do always suggest that you keep an eye on the CBP website, because I think that's where they're posting stuff as new procedures come out.
CBP is in Customs and Border Patrol. That's right. Yeah, good. And so the government is collecting the data. What are they intending to do with it? Is there privacy concern? How long will they keep the data? Do you know? And what will be done with the information when the traveler returns to their home, if they're not an American, or how long is it kept?
Sure. So from Airside's perspective, we're a privacy first company. So at no time can anybody at Airside ever look at the information, see the information. The information can never be shared with any third party. It's never sold or anything like that. It's encrypted immediately, and that's how it's kept by our system. In terms of CBP, so our best understanding currently in line with CBP is it's their intention to combine this with their APIS information. APIS, for those of you who don't know, is the Advanced Passenger Information System, and it's a program that CBP uses to collect information about anybody who's traveling into the country, in order for border security. Because the information is going to be working in conjunction with APIS, the program outline for that is that any information can be kept from 5 to 15 years by CBP.
Okay. And that really is in the hands of the government or the CBP who will determine, yeah, well, how long they keep it. So what happens next? What are the next steps? What's the timing? I know that we said September 1 is the, if you will, the implementation date when it goes into effect, but can we expect to see more marketing? How will the public and then even travel advisors see more, learn more, so that there are, I clearly think there's probably no desire for there to be any surprises when people return. Then in addition to that, what about anybody that happens not to have a phone, a mobile phone, or technology isn't working, or that sort of thing? Maybe you can answer that one first and then talk
Sure.
about next steps in marketing.
Yeah, so we are offering a web-based option as well for those who who either have an older smartphone who would not be able to accommodate the app, or who
Right.
don't have a smartphone. There would be a web-based option also, and we're working with the airlines to come up with contingencies in case any traveler runs into trouble, in regards to that technological piece. In terms of what's going to happen from an information and marketing perspective, we are aligning with IATA and A4A and all of the member airlines around the world to equip them with a marketing package. So they will be able to communicate to any travelers. The goal is, kind of a multi-step process in which individuals will be encouraged to download the app and submit their information at the point of booking even, because you can do it weeks in advance. They'll get another reminder during pre-departure. There may be some visual signage in the airports and so on, that the airlines are partnering with us on. In addition, in terms of ASTA and ASTA's members, we absolutely plan to provide the same marketing package to you and your members as well for distribution, to ensure that any of the travel agents have all the information they need if they're booking on their customers' behalf.
Super, great. Well, we look forward to receiving that, and we will certainly make it available to our ASTA members as well, which should be a great benefit. So anything more, Jessica, that you think that travel agencies or travel advisors, these are the people that put travelers in airplane seats. What should they know about the program as it rapidly moves forward? You really have slightly less than 2 months before it implements. Anything more you think that travel advisors should know? Obviously, simplified program, one that's not overly complex, and it sounds like that is indeed the case. But as the people who are so much trusted by the consumer, the traveler, it's a great chance to let our advisors know anything more you think would be of value for them about the program, the product, next steps, etc.
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, I would just encourage all of the travel agents. The app will come out about a week before September 1st, and so I would encourage them all to download it. It's free, and just kind of play around with it in case your customers are reaching out to you for for help on how to use it instead of reaching out to us. Besides that, obviously, we will provide the marketing information, and but I think if you're right now booking any travel for an individual that's going to be returning to the United States following September 1st, just letting them know that it's coming, so that they're, so any passenger is aware to look out for the marketing or look out for the information, make sure to notice it in their booking emails, so that they're making sure to comply, so they don't have any trouble,
Yep, great. Well, thank you, Jessica, for spending time with us today. Very helpful, valuable. We look forward to getting the additional information from you, as mentioned, that we'll share with our members. And to our members, our viewers, I hope that you found the overview of this new program and the questions asked helpful and of value. Stay tuned for more detail and information. And as always, ASTA is here to help, support, and advocate for you, our membership, on all fronts. So thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Mark.